So how do you find flow? What do you do? The first is to identify the tasks in your job that you truly enjoy and find challenging. Create undisturbed blocks of time to focus on those tasks. So, I enjoy creating presentations. When I'm going to create a presentation, I close my door, focus for an hour to 90 minutes, and just don't think of anything else. I know, again, we had an attorney that liked writing briefs. We've had a person that liked working with their clients and solving problems with their clients. So looking for those opportunities, kind of recognizing, hey, this is when I really get into my work. This is what I really love doing. A lot of people, for instance, service people, retail people love it when it's really busy and they can help their customers. Customer service people like it when they're getting lots of calls and they're helping one person and then another person and then another person, and things are really busy. So looking for those types of moments in our lives when we can find flow and leverage that. Trading with team members, taking on activities where you easily find flow in exchange for them doing something from your list of activities. So, we have some people in our organization that are very verbal and linguistic, and we have some people that are very quantitative and numbers oriented. And we found that those people would switch jobs because one group liked working on a spreadsheet and put numbers in a spreadsheet, and they would get into flow doing that, while another group liked writing headlines and taglines and things like that. And so the ability to recognize that on your team and as an individual, and then trade with somebody else and help them out, is another great way to find flow. And then create methods for making your boring tasks more challenging and interesting. One of the things we run into all the time is we all have these kind of boring things that we have to do, and a lot of us have jobs where we spend 3 or 4 or 5 hours a day doing those kinds of things. Well, we can find flow by making those more interesting. A great example is we had a lady who focused on she had to go through and check the quality of some headlines that were being written, right? So if she gets 1,000 headlines and has to check the quality of them, and so to find flow, she would set herself little goals of, number one, it has to be 100% quality, but number two, can I do 100 of these in an hour? And then maybe can I do 100 of these in 50 minutes? Or can I do 200 in an hour and a half? And so she set these little goals for herself, always maintaining 100% quality, and to see if she could make herself better. And that helped her get into the flow. That helped her enjoy what normally would be a boring task. Relationships. Again, I mentioned relationships at the beginning, and this is one of the most important parts of being happy at work. And in our story, the princesses strongly encouraged interaction. And gone are the days when going to work means everybody needs to sit and be quiet and get their work done. We're not doing that anymore. The best way for people to be productive, especially now that most people are knowledge workers, they use their brains, is for them to interact with people and to talk to people. And that does two things. It makes them feel better about what they're doing. It makes them feel connected to work. It generates ideas for them. And it also gives them a time to recover. Again, if we go into a 60 or 90-minute period of flow, we need a time for our brain to recover. And so getting out by the coffee machine and talking to people is one way to recover. So the science. Experts at the Gallup organization suggest people need to have good friends at work, and that's based on Diener. Diener wrote a great book called Happiness, well worth reading. Social support was the best predictor of happiness during stressful times, and one of the big things we find at work is everybody gets stressed, and so those relationships and those friendships are going to help people be less stressed. 70 years of evidence that our relationships with other people matter, and matter more than anything else in the world. This is Valent, and this is a study that of Harvard students that was started like 70 years ago. And Valent, I think, took it over like 40 years ago. But out of all the data of watching Harvard students over a 70-year period and whether they were successful, out of all that data, the one conclusion, or the biggest conclusion he came to, is that relationships were important for success and happiness. So what do we suggest you do based on our experience? So if you're an individual, you want to be happier, include more people in your network. It's very common for people to find 2 or 3 people they're very comfortable with, and to always go to lunch with those same people and to always spend time with those same people. And that's great. It's good that you have those friends, but we need to expand our network. We need to look for friends of friends. So one of the things you can do is ask your friend to bring somebody you don't know to lunch so that you can meet other people and expand that network. So try to include more people in your network. Identify people versus jobs and be authentic about yourself. So instead of thinking, yeah, that's Joe in accounting, how about it's Joe that's got 3 kids and loves to go sailing? Or it's Lisa who likes to ride motorcycles and works in HR. And then be authentic about who you are. When we're at work, some of the older generation, like me, tend to focus on work and talk about work and not like reveal our personal lives. But again, that's old school. What we need to do now is we need to talk to people about who we are. We need to share our hopes and our dreams and what we want to accomplish in life and what's going on great in our lives and even what's not going on great. To build those relationships, to be authentic so people can see we're real people. And if you're running an organization, this is really important at the executive level. It's really important for employees to know you as an executive are really a human being who really cares about them and has your own good and bad challenges in life. Practice random acts of kindness. Bring a friend a cup of coffee. Bring a box of donuts into the office. So as an individual, leaving somebody a Post-it note about how great a job they did, recognizing somebody with an email. As a team leader, this becomes even more important. Sending an email to your whole team to tell somebody how great a job they did. Bringing donuts in the office for somebody or for the team. Talking everybody into going out for an ice cream at 3 in the afternoon, right? Hey, let's all take a break and go out and have an ice cream. Or let's all take a break and go out and kick a soccer ball, throw a football around. Practice ways of helping people, showing kindness to people, being nice to people. This is going to grow your relationships. Facilitate and encourage friendships in the workplace. Again, I talked about that on an organizational level. Expand the size of the coffee room. Make the coffee room bigger so people can go in and meet and talk. Find ways for people to get to know each other. We have all kinds of vendors come in, and when those vendors come in, we invite our employees to go out to the taco truck and have a taco and sit down on the benches and talk. And Google actually has some science behind the size of their tables. They make big, long tables, so people have to sit down and meet each other and talk to each other. But find ways to actually make real friendships in the workplace. Celebrate birthdays, work anniversaries, promotions, and babies. Another key to relationships and happiness is being happy about good news. And how you react to good news really helps determine the value of that relationship, the value that somebody else places on that relationship. So, when somebody has a birthday, it's a great way to just say, hey, I appreciate you, and, I know you're part of the organization, or I know you're a close friend of mine. Same things for anniversaries, promotions, babies, kids graduating high school, completing a project on time, getting through a stressful presentation. Anything you can do to celebrate small wins is great. Events and teams, dividing your teams and making them a little competitive. We have what we call the Office Olympics, where we push people around on office chairs. We race around the office on office chairs. We throw felt tip or Sharpies at a dartboard. We just make up all these crazy games that we can compete against each other, because a little competition among the group actually makes everybody friendlier and more connected, both within the team and across teams. And then employer-supervisor relationships, employee and supervisor relationships. This is one of the most important relationships in the workplace. The number of people who leave is very much related to their relationship with their supervisor. And so if you're an individual and you want to be happy at work, it's almost required that you find a way to appreciate your boss. Show them respect, empathy, gratitude, and admiration. Write down the things that you like about them. Get to know them as a person. Bad bosses usually are bad because they just don't know any better and they don't know how to do it. Rarely do you really have bad people that you're working for. Although that is possible, it's rare. And so find a way to appreciate and respect your boss. And at the very least, if you've got a horrible boss and there's just nothing good about him, at the very least what you can learn from your boss every day is what you don't want to do when you become a supervisor. So, but find a way to show respect to your boss. Find a way to get along with your boss. If you're a team leader, find a way to get to know your employees. Find a way to be authentic and let them get to know you. And if you run an organization, focus on your supervisors. Your supervisors are the key to the success of your company. Your employees are the ones that are touching the clients, and the supervisors are touching the employees. And so we need the supervisors to help the employees be happy and to help the employees be productive and to get out of their way, not get in their way.